What's happening, good people? What is happening? Hope you guys are able to hear me just fine. I think you are. I got the microphone close here. Got my trusty mic arm back in effect. But what's happening, everybody? Hope everybody is well. Hope everyone has had a great and lovely evening so far. Hope you guys are ready to talk a little bit of Steelers. Just a little bit of Steelers, guys. Welcome, man, to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic. We are live from the virtual, I'm going to call it the Steel Basement. This is the Steel Basement, the new Steel Basement. As you can tell, the last couple of shows, I have not had my virtual background. It is just the room. And pretty soon, you're going to see me present this show in a different format. Still trying to get that together, so just keep your eyes out on that. Maybe by next week you'll see me probably in a different location in terms of on screen. I'll probably be sitting back there, but we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to get some things up behind me to make this look a little more lively. But I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me, man, while I'm getting myself together in the new space. But how's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody is well. Let me say hello to the early commenters and we'll get right to it. One thing I forgot to do, so you guys are going to have to see me do it in real time. I forgot to share the link on Twitter, so let me do that. And I asked you guys as well, man, help me out, be a part of the Terrible Towel marketing team, if you will, man. Grab the link, share it out, share it with friends, family, loved ones, whoever you think could benefit or enjoy themselves over here at Terrible Towel Tuesday. But let's say hello to the early commenters. Right out the gate, we got Jersey Boy. Hello, Miss Lanisha. How you doing tonight? Hope you're doing lovely, guys. Make sure you say hello to the lovely ladies. And I see another lady in the chat right away as well. Hello, the Egyptian Queen. How you doing tonight, Miss Lady? Fellas, take care of the ladies. They always here with us. Make sure you treat them appropriately. My man, Why Diggy in the building. Brent Fox. Ron Simpson Gaming. What's going on, Ron? Jared Devil. Joshua Shields. Ali Howard. BQ412. Steely McBeeman. I love it. Love that name right there. Steely McBeeman. What's going on? Claude Bishop. Who else is in the building? Who else? BSG74, father-in-law Leonard in the building, Derek Moore. Hello, Miss Lady, Tina Williams. Hello, how you doing? Hope you're doing well, fellas. Don't make me have to keep asking y'all to speak to the ladies. Say hello to our lovely lady crew, man. Good to see you as well. Mark Cunningham. Hello, Destiny. Oh, man, they out here tonight. It must be ladies free before 11. They in the club tonight, guys. Y'all better get out there. Better stop dragging your feet and get out there. Y'all know I like to make life reference jokes. But yeah, they in the club tonight, man. They heavy. What's going on, Destiny? Good to see you. Real to real. Ghost Marley. And I guess we'll end it right about there. And we'll jump into it. Kenyon is texting me some news here about Michael Pittman Jr. Wow. Michael Pittman Jr., his brother Micah is transferring to Utah. Okay. And, me and Kenyon, when Kenyon introduced me really to them, we've been watching those fellas for a while, man, and their feet. You always hear us talk about feet. Like Shaq would say, the feet work. Those dudes' feet, man. And I think, at one time, Kenyon had showed me some footage. This was a while back. I think it was Michael, and Chase Claypool. And Micah appeared to have the best feet. So, yeah, very interesting, man, to see what he's going to do in his career. What? And Siri's talking to me. But all right, man, let's get into it, man. I got a few topics to hit. Then we'll grab some phone calls, man. Let's see. First up in my queue. First up, let's talk a little bit about Cory Trice. Cory Trice, again, I'm going to give all credit dues to Steelers Depot. I have the article up here. I would just read you a small piece of it. I'll just read you the conclusion. I mean, if you guys are familiar with Steelers Depot, man, you know how they do a wonderful job over there, highlighting certain things. Dr. Mel, if you don't know who Dr. Mel is, I'm not even going to introduce you to Dr. Mel. I'll let you go read that on your own. But, everyone was trying to figure out why Cory Trice didn't get an invite to the Senior Bowl and, just seemed to go unnoticed. And after me watching some of his tape, I mean, listen, in my opinion, pretty much all rookie cornerbacks are going to need some type of adjustment, some type of work going into the NFL. That's obvious, right? But this guy has a lot of potential, man. Big and strong, physical. Liking what I'm seeing from this kid, man. I really am. I really am. And it's very interesting, man, that the Steelers were able to grab him when they did, especially hearing how they want to play football, and, the mantra that they kind of are reestablishing. We've heard from Terrell Austin. We've heard from Andy Weidl. That was a pretty good interview. I'll touch a little bit on that as well. Kind of fitting the mold of what we want to do. And he was right there. So a lot of people were saying maybe there were some health concerns, right? So long story short, I'll do something nice for you guys. Hold on, give me a second. Let me pull up the stream really quick. Let me pull up the chat. I'm going to link the article here for you guys who may want to check it out. Give me 2 seconds, guys, and I'll put it in the chat. I didn't have the stream up on my computer. But give me 2 shakes of a rattlesnake, and I got you. 2 shakes of a rattlesnake. All right, here we go. Actually, we do have a donation. So right after the donation, man, I will come back and I will post the link. So round of applause. It looks like the donation is from one of our faithfuls, man. My man, Luis D. Appreciate that. Round of applause. Let's see if it's going to work for us on the first go. Let's see. It is not. Yo, let me tell y'all something, man. This software is funny. I have a program that I use to trigger a lot of my, my round of applause and a lot of other stuff I got coming for you guys as the season, as we approach. I'm going to start delivering some better content for you guys. But the little software that I use is weird. It shows me that it's running, right? It shows me that it's running. It's up and running. But then when I hit it, it's not running. Very strange. So hold on, man. Let me get the round of applause. Here we go. Should work this time. Round of applause to Luis D. Technology is something else, but also I got to take some of the blame, right? Test this stuff before I go live. But, I'm live with it. I'm like live television. I let y'all see my mistakes and all of that in real time. Luis says, not expecting for JJ to unretire, but it's possible. Brother TJ and Coach T convinced JJ to make another run at a possible ring. Any UDFA interests you? I am going to talk a little bit about JJ, as you guys probably saw that in my thumbnail. That's going to be my main topic, if you will. So I'll get into that in a moment. Nope, I haven't had a chance, man, really to look at any of the UDFAs. I just haven't had the time here lately with the move and all that. And I know, we moved on the 14th, but trust me, for anybody who's never moved, it's still so much to do. We're even doing minor remodels within the home, like little stuff. Some stuff we're doing on our own. Some stuff we've had people do, getting it custom made, finishing touches exactly how we want it. So it's just, since the 14th of April, it's just been like, my time has been bottled up. But no, me personally, I haven't really seen any of the UDFAs, man, that sticks out. I know it's one kid, and I keep forgetting his name, that Kenyon was telling me about. Is it David? Is it Perils? Am I saying his name correct, or if I'm completely off? I know that's somebody that everyone is saying to keep an eye on, but I haven't had a chance to watch him. But, I'm always going to trust Kenyon's opinion in that regard, and some of you guys as well, man. A lot of you guys are up on these players. So just haven't had a chance to look myself. Let me see. What else? JJ Watt, I'll get to him in a moment. Getting back to Cory Trice, man, I'm going to read you guys that little piece. And actually, here's the link right here to the article. Shout out to Steelers Depot and Dr. Mel doing her thing over there. But a little piece that she says, I'll just read the conclusion. It's very, very, well put together article. But her summary is, basically she says, clean bill of health at this time. It is possible that the past injuries, such as his ankle, could be a potential risk for re-injury or chronic damage in the future, but none of the injuries that he has sustained necessarily raise significant concerns in that regard. Trice will be 2 years out of, or 2 years removed from ACL repair when preseason starts, so he should be fully recovered and feel confident in his knee. Should be ready to participate in rookie minicamp, which is this weekend coming up, as well as OTAs. So she wrote here, level of fitness, excellent. A couple of highlights that she talked about. I think he did have an ACL a couple years ago. Obviously, she said that. They were saying something about 5 or 6 years ago he had a broken ankle, a fractured ankle or something in high school, but then they claimed that he came back and played 3 months later and didn't really have any significant drop-off. So bottom line, everyone is trying to figure out, why this guy didn't get invited. Why did he scare off other teams? Was it a health concern? And at the end of the day, man, where the Steelers drafted him at, I think it could be a potential steal and a value pick. I am not upset with them taking another cornerback at that spot and getting a guy that, just looking at his tape, looks like he's somebody that could potentially help. It just seems like somebody that could potentially help. We'll see. And again, I'm going to repeat what I said last week. I think the signing of him and the mode that they talk about, writing could be on the wall for a guy like, Kello Witherspoon. We'll see. He's the most expensive guy on the roster right now in terms of, who you could get rid of per se. You're not going to cut Patrick Peterson, obviously. So I think it's something to pay attention to. Let me show you guys what I'm drinking water out of. This is not an ad, but as you can see here, this is a Stanley Cup, right? My wife always introducing me to these things, man. At first it was the Yeti, and then it was this Stanley Cup that she had to have. And don't even get me started with the story of where I had to go to get her cup because they were out of stock and limited edition. Even today, Target has some special one that she wants to get. But anyway, so see, my wife is very slick, man, and see, she knows how to get me, right? So after I did that, she buys me a cup. And I have to say, I do like this cup. I'm sorry. It's 40 ounces. I drink a lot of water, and it has a straw. I didn't think I cared about a straw, but I'm going to tell you the benefit of this cup. Again, this is not an ad. I'm just, I'm sharing y'all some nutty stuff, man. It has nothing to do with the Steelers. Sharing some life with y'all. This actually fits in your cup holder. So it's a good thing if you like to take a big cup and drink in the car. The straw is clutch. Instead of you driving and trying to do one of those numbers and spilling water all over yourself. But anyway, so guys, you might see me sip at this from time to time. I always overshare with y'all, man. That's why we family. Yeah, there we go. I think that was a value pick. So there you have it. Next on my list, I have, what I want to talk about next here. Let's talk a little bit about Omar Khan's mentality, man. I really like what Omar Khan is doing, man. If you notice, quite a few positions, it doesn't seem like he's settling for what's on the roster, right? How many times have we all, as Steelers fans, even as recent as maybe last year, we've gone into a season and we felt like the Steelers went into it with just having just enough. Like relying on one or two guys at the position. And, going into the season, all right, we good. We don't really need no depth. We got maybe one depth piece. But they go into the season relatively thin at certain areas. How many times have we seen that from our Steelers? Just last year, right? The offensive line didn't have any real depth. And the Steelers got extremely lucky. That That unit played together the entire season. But had one guy gone down, if Mason Cole goes down, guess who's playing center more than likely? Well, maybe J.C. Eisenhower, but, could have been Kendrick Green. So let's say a center and a guard goes down. Now Kendrick Green definitely had to play last year. See what I'm saying? And the Steelers seem to do that, man, the last few years. We seem to just have just enough. We got our starter and then just some fill-in guy, right? And again, sometimes backups are they're just that. They're backups. They're Jags, just the guy. But good teams, and a lot of these teams that, we look at on Sundays, you hear how much depth they have. Like, think about, the Eagles being able to keep their front fresh. You even heard that with, like, teams like the Chargers, at certain positions. Like, they keep rotating bodies because they got capable guys, right? Not just a guy. They have actual guys who can come in there and make some things happen. Let's fast forward 2 seasons ago, right? Before Melvin Ingram forced his way out, look at how good we felt about the 3-man rush. And Ingram was coming there and doing just enough that we needed him to do, spelling Highsmith and TJ Watt. Look what happened last season when we didn't really have that solidified guy. Didn't look good, right? Didn't look good when what was the dude's name? Drawing a blank. Malik Reed. Didn't look too good when Malik Reed came in there, right? And then we come into this season like before Jameer Jones, before situation with him, we hear about Jameer Jones and then now Quincy Roche, and it's like, so what do? They go out and they draft Nick Herbig, somewhat of a developmental guy being on the smaller side, but this is a guy who's a baller. He works out with TJ. He's from Wisconsin as far as college. He's already familiar with the style of defense we run. He's going to be familiar with Benton. So this could be another guy that we could potentially develop. I'm not too concerned about the undersized per se, because you think about guys like, listen, I'm not comparing him. I'm just doing a physical comparison. James Harrison was undersized per se for a traditional pass rusher. So you just never know what you might get out of him, right? Elvis Dumerville. These guys were traditionally undersized. So we could develop him into something, but then also you're hearing that he potentially has inside linebacker capability as well. But my point is they didn't just sit on the fact of saying, okay, we got Roche and whoever else behind TJ and Highsmith. No, they went ahead and drafted another guy. They went ahead and did exactly what we were saying weeks before. Like, man, hopefully they can find a way to get an edge. And, hopefully they could find inside linebacker. And, we were just asking for a lot of different things. And they were able to accomplish most of the things that we asked for. And they could still potentially make moves for another depth piece, even at inside linebacker. We'll see. But that's what I'm noticing out of Omar Khan. And last thing that he just did, we're hearing that Hakeem Butler, remember him? Hakeem Butler, big, super tall receiver, went to the Cardinals. Kenyon was big on him when he was at, I think, Iowa State. And this kid now, they said he was one of the best players in, XFL? I think he led the league. But the Steelers are not just settling on who they have at receiver, right? They're bringing in another piece. I don't know what Hakeem Butler's going to be. I don't know if he's going to stick. But my point is, so far, Omar Khan and Andy Weidl and those guys seem to be bringing in competition, and they're sticking to that theme. Like, yo, we're going to go with the best guys. We're not going to let anybody rest and think they got a spot, especially the guys who are backing up the starters. Bringing in another receiver is great. That means you're going to get the best out of all of these guys. You know who you're going to get the best out of? George Pickens. Because George Pickens knows he's that guy. At the very worst, he knows he's going to be the number 2. At the very worst, right? So that's going to, I know he's competitive. He's going to be like, yeah, I'm still me. Y'all can bring whoever y'all want in. Veteran and Allen Robinson and this dude trying out whoever. Yeah, I'm going to do me. You know who else it might elevate? Possibly. Maybe Calvin Austin goes crazy in preseason. or off season because he didn't play last year, and that the Steelers keep bringing in other receivers. I love it. Look at what they did with the O-line. You know, a guy like Herbig might be trying to challenge Kevin Dotson. You know, obviously, Siamalu is going to start. But you see what I'm saying? And that's what I love out of what Omar Khan is doing so far, man. He's not settling. Love that. Excuse me. So, got to give him a shout out. And also, just really quick, man, talking a little bit about Andy Weidl. You know, I hope you guys caught his interview. Man, was a great listen. So I'll let you guys go listen to it yourself. But one of the things that stuck out was how much Andy Weidl was basically just saying exactly what the Steelers are trying to do. He basically said, confirmed what all of us said about them wanting to play bully ball. They're going to beat up guys. They want to out physical guys on both sides of the ball. That's basically what he kept saying. And he kept saying, we're the Steelers. I love that. I love that. He kept talking about the steal away. And I forget which one of you guys, I remember the call. I just don't remember who was the one who called to say it. I remember one of you guys last week called in and said, hey, man, the Steelers are rebuilding what they had back in the 70s. That mentality of just being bigger and stronger, smash mouth style. And you might be right on board with that, brother. Because now after hearing Andy Weidl, that's what he's talking. We're going to be big out there. We're going to out physical guys, and we just going to beat you up. And he kept saying it like that's the Steeler way. Remember, this is traditionally a Steeler guy. You know, he's a Pittsburgh guy. So I love it. I love it. Sometimes, man, listen, let me explain this. And he said this in his press conference, and you guys have probably heard me say this too. For any of you guys, man, like myself who play football, you know, at a competitive level, or any of you guys may not, you know, maybe you didn't play, but you've definitely, you know, watched football and learned the sport. And my ladies as well. You know, my ladies will understand this as well because our ladies in the chat know they football. Listen, man, football will always start and end in the trenches. Period. You can get as cute as you want to out there. You can get as pretty as you want to out there. You can be flashy, you know, like the Chiefs, all you want. But football starts and ends in the trenches. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't have any time to step back and do his fancy stuff, they don't score all those points. He can't throw it deep downfield. It starts in the trenches. Look at Philly. Philly was able to run the football, take deep shots. And it looks like the Steelers are building a team like that as well. Run the football, take deep shots with your one-on-ones down the field. The way Philly played against us, that's exactly how we can start playing against others. Andy Weidl comes from that tree. So football is always football, man. I always go back to, you think a few years back, man, when Tennessee had that, you know, fairly decent run. They were just playing smash mouth football, man. For the most part, the Ravens do that. Offensively, they run the football. They just line up and run right at you. Think about when they had, you know, when guys like Gus Edwards, like I ain't gonna front, I hated seeing Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards probably was a thorn in my side more than any other running back on that roster. No joke. Because Gus Edwards was just consistent. Smash, smash, smash. He gonna hit you for 6 yards here, 9 yards there, 12 yards there. Fall forward for 3. Just ground and pound. Then they would take their little shots. Even though they didn't have receivers, they would take shots to Andrews. But it can still work. Yes, absolutely, Tony. What's up, Tony? Listen, the Browns. The Browns run that ball, man. Listen, physicality will never, in my opinion, never not matter. I don't care how pretty and cute you get out there in the pass game. You can win football games being physical on both sides of the ball, keeping the score low, roughing people up, and, you know what I mean, allowing that attrition to set in. And when your team is built for that, you win football games that way. So Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing what the Steelers are putting together. I wouldn't even say that this is going to be a one-season turnaround. Of course, I would like to see what we do this season. But the new mentality sometimes takes a year or two, couple years to gel. So it's very cool to see, man, exactly what they're putting together. Round of applause, man, again to Luis D, man. He's out here donating like crazy again. Appreciate it. Luis says, of all the rookie Steelers drafts, who do you think has the best chance at making a run for Rookie of the Year, either on offense or defense? Also, did you see the CBS rankings of QBs? Did not see the rankings. If I had to take a wild guess at it, out of all of our rookies, it's going to be hard for a cornerback to get that Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, it's possible, but it's going to be a little tough. I would say perhaps, and this might be a wild card, but I would say a guy like Washington. Because Washington could come in and significantly contribute. Like, what if this dude, what if he starts being like I'm not talking about style of play, I'm just talking about how you use him. What if he ends up being like, Kenny Pickett's, his Mark Andrews. You know what I'm saying? Like how Lamar relies on him. What if Washington ends up being that type of target for Kenny? Because he's so big and he's athletic enough, to contort his body and stuff like that. So if I had to guess, that probably would be the only guy right now sticking out. I think it would be tough for Joey Porter to be, Rookie of the Year. I see shout outs to Terry Carter. He says Keanu Benton. That might be a little tough as well for him. I'm not saying it's impossible. I mean, these are all guesses. But I do think, man, a guy like Washington might have a chance, because I'm just thinking about who might get on the field and can make significant plays. Again, I think Joey Porter Jr. might get on the field and make some plays here and there. He's going to play. Terrell Austin already said that. But also, I don't know if it's enough to where what he would have to do to be the Rookie of the Year. What would Benton have to do to be the Rookie of the Year? Again, don't forget that Steelers play sub-package most of the time. So a lot of those snaps is going to be Cam Hayward and Larry Ogunjobi, inside in the interior with TJ and Highsmith on the outside. You understand? So that's going to take some of those chances away from Benton. So, yeah, that's why I would just say out of our guys, it would have to be Washington. That would just be my guess. But we'll see. We'll see. It would be great if we're having this debate in the season. Like, I don't know. I think he should get it. I don't know. I think he should get it. That means our team is doing fairly well and we got some good contributors. All right, so the last thing I'm going to talk about, man, the main topic of the night. Well, I got a side comment real quick. I wasn't going to do this, but why not? I haven't had a chance to listen to the podcast with Ben and Coach Cowher. I definitely will be listening to that, just like I listened to the one with him and Tomlin. I like Ben's style as far as how the podcast goes, because it is more conversational. Because I think he did a good job with his podcast with Tomlin, as well as the Pivot guys when Tomlin was on there. I think both of those were great interviews in their own right. So I definitely look forward to listening to the Coach Cowher. But, what's coming out, I'm seeing some, little blurbs and stuff of people saying that, Cowher knew that his team was ready to win and was like, hey, just don't mess it up. So he kind of felt like it was a well-oiled machine when he stepped down. Tomlin was unable to win the Super Bowl until a few years later. But I just wanted to bring this up, man, because I think Cowher was quoted as saying as well, listen, or it might have been Steelers Depot, but somebody. But it's obvious, guys, that Tomlin inherited, a great team in the making. Veteran quarterback, a young franchise quarterback, got veterans on the team. But it still takes some coaching for you to win a Super Bowl with that team. Like, how many of you guys think that you could right now, you go coach the best team in the league and win a Super Bowl this season? Like, be honest with yourselves. I don't think there's any of us in this chat that could do that. If we could, we'd be coaching for somebody right now, whether it's at the college ranks or somewhere. You understand what I'm saying? So it's weird to me. It's always weird to me when people use that. And again, I'm not advocating for or against Tomlin. I thought it was cool to see people writing articles based on what I just said, like kind of saying like, look, that's always been the narrative, but come on. If you're not a good coach, you ain't winning with the team. It don't matter. You're not going to. So I just thought that was interesting, man. D-Mac says he could coach the best team to a playoff berth. Oh, okay. I'm glad you confident. I could not, because let me tell you something. I have no idea what it takes to be an NFL coach. As much as I feel like I know football, I have no idea what it takes to be an NFL coach. So I just thought I'd throw that little aside out there. But all right, man, let me get back to it. Let's talk about the last topic, then I'll take a call or two, few calls, and then we'll get up out of here. Steelers fans, can I ask y'all to do something for me, please? Let me take a sip of water first. Then I'm going to read Luis's comment. Then I'm going to ask y'all to do something for me. Round of applause to Luis, man. And here you go again, donating like crazy, man. I really do appreciate you. Round of applause. Real to Real says, I personally didn't like that statement. Which statement? Which statement? You talking about the Tomlin thing? Or... But Luis says, well, CBS had Pickett ranked at the bottom behind rookie QBs who haven't played it down. Wow. See, this is why I don't really listen to what other people say per se and internalize their feelings. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to pay any attention to that list. Like, honestly, just being fair, how can you rank any rookie quarterback higher than any quarterback who played in the league last year? They haven't done anything yet. I know it's projections and all that, but to me, once you're in the NFL, like, come on, be a little more respectful. You know, how you gonna say that these dudes is this much better than Kenny Pickett? Kenny Pickett, who was on the rise to finish the season. A Kenny Pickett who now already has 2 fourth quarter comeback wins under his belt in the NFL. That's just disrespectful. It's disrespectful. I mean, that's very disrespectful. I don't care, you know, if you think this guy's better than that guy, whatever. I'm just stating the facts. The facts are that is disrespectful to do when you're ranking guys who never played a down in the NFL higher than a guy who played his rookie season last year. That's crazy to me, but whatever. I don't pay that no mind. I mean, who cares about that? Maybe it will motivate Kenny. So there you have it. Claude says 6 different starters, one with Tomlin, Timmons, Holmes. And that's one thing I wanted to say. And again, I'm not comparing the two coaches. I love them both. I didn't even know this. Shout outs again to Steelers Depot for reporting this. I totally forgot that Tomlin drafted Woodley. See, sometimes the years blur together. So the point they were making, they said, well, you can have that narrative all you want. It was like, but one thing you have to give credit to Tomlin for was Tomlin made James Harrison a starter, and he drafted Lamar Woodley, who definitely led the charge in the Steelers defense and the Steelers winning Super Bowls and winning the Super Bowl a few years later. It was that defense, that pass rush, that dynamic duo. And they were saying, I mean, you know, you got to give Tomlin credit for that. So there you have it. So, I mean, make the narrative fit however you want it. I'm not one to do that. I think both coaches have been great for the Steelers. I just don't understand why Steelers fans get into that business of, oh, he sucks, he was better, and yada, yada, yada. Like, they both, in my opinion, were great coaches. And, maybe you're tired of Tomlin. That's fine. But I think sometimes when people don't like a coach, their vision gets blurry on what really, what's the real thing that's happening, or, you have selective amnesia. But whatever. I just thought I'd throw that in there. Excuse me. So last thing. Steelers fans, what I need y'all to do for me. I need you guys to stop being so crazy, man. Every time you see a free agent, a draft pick, a trade, a retired player visiting the facility, can we stop with the Steeler people, my Steeler family? Can we stop with all of these? Oh, he's signing with the Steelers. Oh, listen. If J.J. Watt decided to come out of retirement to play with the Steelers and play with his brother, so be it. Would I frown on it? No. Cool. But let's have a real honest discussion really quick. It's a reason why J.J. Watt decided to retire. J.J. Watt has had one heck of a career. But J.J. Watt, man, is probably hurt. His body went through a lot. Think about all of the extensive injuries that he's gone through. What is J.J. Watt for you right now? Now, could you use him in a backup capacity? Sure. Could you get creative and have him inside with Cam Hayward? Sure. Ooh, could you have a situation like a unique type of package where you got him lined up on the outside and then Ogunjobi and Cam, in the middle, and then TJ? You could do all of that. You could throw some weird fronts out there. But really, come on. Come on. J.J. Watt was a man amongst boys, absolutely. But it's at this point, it's the urgency that I've seen some people talk about this is hilarious to me. Man, they let him out of that building and don't sign him. Man, they don't know what they're doing. See, all of a sudden now, Omar Khan doesn't know what he's doing. Or Andy Weidl. Or Tomlin. After this awesome offseason and draft. But now, all of a sudden, if they let J.J. Watt, an aged J.J. Watt who is emphatically saying he's retired, if they let that guy out of the building, they don't know what they're doing. Steeler Nation, y'all got to stop it. Now, I know some of the good people in this, chat here live tonight don't feel that way, so I'm not talking to them. But those who need to hear it are hearing it. Who knows who's going to see this show? And it could be very well some people in this chat that feel that way too. But come on, man. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. Y'all need to cut it out. Y'all need to cut it out, man. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Y'all want everything, man. Yes, and I've seen people literally saying if they let him out the building, they are failed. They're failures. They have failed. Are you? Like I said, man, J.J. Watt is an older player. He's already retired. How much does he have left? How much does he help the team? That's all I'm saying. So, I don't know. Oh, and what is Why Diggy saying? He says, we're talking about a guy who had to have his heart restarted. I think we can just let Justin James Watt enjoy retirement. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Let this man let him ride off into the sunset, man. Y'all need to stop being so, I don't know. That's the Steeler Nation way, right? Want everything. But that's all I got, man. I don't have any more topics, man. It's very light topic time right now. We'll take a few phone calls. And before I end the show, I'm going to say something funny to you guys. Hope I don't forget. But all right, we got a few phone calls in the queue, man. First up, we have area code 951. What you got for us?
Hey, Sam, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just two quick things. The first thing I got is regarding Trice. Um, I've noticed, if you guys have noticed, that the Steelers have kind of gone away from getting those 5'9", 5'10" tackling corners. Seemed like they made a switch to the 6'2" plus corners that can actually cover some ground and be physical. And the second thing is how do you guys feel about Keanu Neal stepping up in some of those linebacker positions as far as when it comes to passing downs? That's all I got.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the call. Absolutely. Steelers are definitely, doing something different. It's good to see, and again, Terrell Austin has come out and said verbatim that, yeah, we're gonna play press. We play a lot of man. That's what we want to do. Andy Weidl is saying we want big physical corners, guys that, he literally said, given the fact of the receivers we got in our division, I love it. Because y'all know my mentality, right? Of course, when you play football, you can't do the same thing every play. You can't play man all the time. Can't play zone all the time. Got to mix it up. But you can have an identity. I've been wanting the Steelers to be more of a man, physical, mono team and just live with the wins and losses, man. I like that. You either win or you lose. And then, sometimes, you got to pick your spots. Obviously when you're playing against beast receivers, they can beat press and all that. So you can't always do that. But in those key situations, the third and shorts, the fourth and goals from the 5, those type of situations where they want to get the ball out quick. Maybe we're blitzing. We got TJ Watt getting pressure. Get up on those guys and, knock that timing off a little bit. Disrupt them. The Steelers traditionally haven't been a team that does that. And we watch teams do that and it works. However, you got to pick your spots. Because we also watched the team in the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl just stay in man and just get absolutely torched in the second half of that game. The Chiefs ran the same play twice. That boy Juju was the benefactor of one. They looked lost out there. They wasn't switching off. So, you got to have a better game plan. But again, in the key moments, sometimes when it's short yardage to go, I hate when we give up so much cushion. Get up in front of them. Get a hand on them and disrupt them. You have 5 yards for free. So that's what I like. Keanu Neal, we'll see. I know he's able, to play in the box and stuff like that. So I'm not mad at that. Again, the Steelers have definitely been showcasing the big nickel look, and sub with 3 safeties. And, it could be definitely opportunities there to rotate one of those guys down into the linebacker spot. So we'll see. I don't have any beef with that. I know Neal is capable of doing that. So I have no beef whatsoever with them doing that. Kind of roll them up a lot. Think about this past season. We saw Terrell Edmonds almost up on the line quite often when we thought runs was coming and he was making tackles at the line or behind it. So I'm sure they will entertain that idea with Neal and or KZ, and maybe Neal, they might feel like Neal, is a little more suited because I think he's a little bigger than KZ. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, next in the queue, area code 318. What you got for us?
Well, excuse me. Well, what's up, Bonk?
What's going on, brother?
Nothing much. Basically, you just touched on everything. Well, with the secondary, I feel like with we're getting more ball hawks. Because Terrell Edmonds, like I said, he played more in the box. I just feel like with Minka and Minka, God dang it, what's his name? Casey can be more like that. You know how Ryan Clark and Troy was, not the same, but we can probably get the same production. Just I don't like we can't give up deep passes, and we just need to turn the ball over. That's about it for that. And and with Bill Cowell and Mike Tomlin, I'm just like, man, Bill Cowher had losing seasons, so imagine if, Mike Tomlin had like that same, resume, like Bill Cowher. Like, he'll catch all types of hell. And last thing, I had watched your boy Caleb Williams. I think that's his name, from USC. A lot of people say remind me of Pat Mahomes. For some reason, like, no offense, he looks like Russell Wilson, not for his like size, but like how he moves in the pocket. That's it. Y'all have a good night.
Hey man, appreciate the call, brother. Yeah, I won't rehash everything. We both kind of were talking the same thing there, but I like that comparison. That now you're gonna make me watch Caleb Williams a little more and see if I see a little Russell in him. And you know what it is. Everybody's gonna. The thing is, and again, this is not a disrespect to anybody, but we all know this is true. A lot of times people gravitate to what they know, right? The most familiar face is Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes can move around and he can run when he needs to. And so anybody who does that, they're going to compare him, to Patrick Mahomes. Anybody who just takes off and runs, so a guy like Richardson is probably going to be compared to Lamar or something. That's just people. A lot of times they just go with the familiar. But you saying Russell Wilson, that sounds like you've watched him a little more intently, and you're looking at the intricacies that Caleb Williams possesses. So I'm actually going to take a look at that man myself and see if I can see that. Kenyon being a USC fan, I would love to know Kenyon's assessment of that. Do you think my man there is on to something? Or do you see a little Russell Wilson and Caleb Williams? Oh man, Derek Moore. Wow, man. Round of applause. Big time round of applause for the donation, man. You guys are being really kind tonight, man. Much love, much respected. Appreciate that, Derek Moore. He didn't have any comment there, man, so he's literally just donating, man. So shout outs to you. Salute. Appreciate that, man, a lot. I see a comment here that I kind of agree with. Tony, Rajon is answering Tony. He says, I have a hard time watching basketball. Me too, man. Me too. Maybe I will explain that here in a moment, but I want to get back to you guys, Steelers comments, but I'm going to try to remember before we hang up here why it gets on my nerves too. Kenya says, Caleb Williams plays a lot bigger than Patrick Mahomes, not Russell Wilson. And I saw Caleb playing a month ago at the USC spring game. Sim, I don't see Russell. Okay, difference of opinions. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But all right, guys, listen, man. No other calls in the queue, so let's do it, man. Fire away. Any lasting comments? I'll spend a few minutes here, and yeah. I'll talk a little at the end. I'm going to talk a little bit about why it's hard for me to watch basketball as well. I'm just being honest. D-Max says he can watch the regular season. Okay. Any more Steelers talk, guys? Anything else you guys want to comment on? Any questions you want to bring my way? Anything you hate, love, etc., etc.? See what you guys got. Rajon said he saw Jonathan Dwyer. I remember him. Running back. And Dwyer went to what? Georgia Tech, right? Is that where he went to school? I know we had him for a moment, but do I remember that correctly? It was Georgia Tech, I think, or it was either Georgia Tech or Wake Forest that I'm seeing. I'm seeing the uniform with the gold helmet. Was it Tech or Wake Forest, or am I completely off with that? I am definitely looking forward to that schedule release BSG, and I'm gonna make a game this year, if not two. And my good brother Tony here in the chat, we already discussed. Tony, there's certain Sundays in months that he has flexibility, and we're gonna try to catch a game on one of the fifth Sundays, man, and see if we can make that happen so we can get Tony to Pittsburgh so he can enjoy that. Yeah, okay, Georgia Tech. I knew it was one of them. I could see the uniform, the colors. I just was making sure my memory was still intact. Oh man, Derek says he forgot to add the comment, so it came up after the donation. Okay, hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. Okay, he says, just supporting, bro. Get a nice Steelers spatula and flip some burgers for a housewarming if you don't already have one. You know what's funny? Appreciate that, Derek. It's funny, man. My wife had bought me some years ago, and it's still in the pack. Actually, it's in the garage right now. It's like a Steelers apron and all of that, but I have to get the spatula, man, and I will do that. Maybe I'll do that, man, at some point and take a picture and post it here on the show or whatever so you guys can see that I stuck to that word there. What else y'all got? Terry Carter says, is Herbig being groomed as Highsmith's successor in the event we lose him to free agency? Ooh, that's a good question. No, I don't think so. I think Herbig is just a depth piece. Let's see how they use him. And I think they have all intentions to re-sign Alex Highsmith. I really do think that, yeah, they don't want to let Alex Highsmith walk out the door, would be my guess. It's going to cost them, especially if he has another season this year. So if I were them, and maybe they will, if I were them, I would get a deal done before this season starts. Or, you know what else? Steelers traditionally hasn't done deals during the season. What if this is the first time we see them pull off a deal during the season? But whatever it is, I would definitely try to get him extended sooner than later. Tony Armstrong says, what's the over on Harris rushing for 12 yards? Ooh. Over under. I'll take you up on that. I'll say over. I'm going to get a little froggy and say over. And the reason why I feel confident in saying that, Najee rushed for 1,000 yards the last couple seasons, where he had to turn it on late. So I think we're going to see better averages. Hey, I think we're going to add, it's very possible we add, trying to be modest and not being too advantageous. I say we add 4 to 5 more 100-yard games this season. So right there, right off the bat, you're looking at 500 yards just from 5 games. And I think, he'll get 90-something here, 80-something there, 78 here, So I think it's very possible that he goes over 1,200 yards this coming season, which would be my guess, if he's healthy. And look, Terry Carter just said that as well. If he's fully healthy, stays healthy, I think it's very possible that Najee will rush for more than 1,200 yards. Nathan Gaskin says pancakes all day. That would be lovely. D-Mac says better hope we get a real backup QB. Yeah, man, I saw somebody else say they wonder what our QB situation will look like. I know they brought in a UDFA, but your boy Mitch, Mr. Trubisky, is still at this moment the backup. He's under contract. I don't know if the Steelers are trying to do something else, trying to get rid of that second year of his contract, but it's all we got right now outside of the UDFA. So that could very well end up being the situation. Honestly, if I'm being truly honest with y'all, man, outside of, I don't know how they feel about the cap. And I think the Steelers, are okay with a guy like Mitch being the backup. I think they are. And I know he didn't have the best games. We did see sometimes when he came in the game, he played relatively well. And we saw some other times when he got a little careless with the ball. But I don't know, man. I look at it like this. If the Steelers were okay with Rudolph being the backup for as long as he was, then I feel like they probably feel okay. And that's from the Steelers standpoint. That's not me talking. That's just what I feel like they think. Steely McBeeman says he heard Morgan is pretty good. Okay. D-Max said, don't say that name. Yeah, man. Just trying to call it kind of like how I'm seeing it from the Steelers, man. Ali says, Sim, do you think we'll have a version of the Arby's package? What is the Arby's package? I'm uninformed. What's the Arby's package? Or are you playing on their logo? We have the meats. You talking about big beefy guys? I don't know. Yeah, but maybe I'm slow on that one, man. What's the Arby's package? Why Diggy says they'll probably add another QB, maybe Nick Foles on the cheap. Oh, yeah. Okay. Didn't even think about that. Ali says he hopes not. Kenya says Nick Foles has talked about retirement. D-Max says Mitch is a strange situation. All the physicals, but can't figure it out. Yeah, man, it's a little weird. A little weird. The Arby's package was the jumbo set Atlanta ran. Okay. Possible. You know, with the pieces that we have, it's possible. And appreciate y'all bringing me up to speed to that. I ain't know nothing about the Arby's package. All I know is we got the meats. So, all right, man. AFC North predictions. I ain't ready to do that yet. You know, I ain't ready to do that yet. Let's see how the teams shake out, you know, as far as who ends up making the 53 before I can make that type of prediction. I mean, honestly, listen, right now, I'm sorry. Y'all might get mad at me, but right now you got to say, you know, at this very moment, you still got to look at the Bengals as being a favorite for the North. I think the Steelers and the Ravens could be possibly in contention because, again, even last year, right, looking at where we finished and where the Ravens finished, you know, the Bengals were, about 4 more games ahead. So it's not like it was a super large margin. But right now, where I stand, you would have to say the Bengals, man. Yeah, Tony, schedule is coming. So maybe we'll dive into that next week once we really see exactly, you know, when and where and who gets played. And we need to definitely look for that game, Tony, and see if we can book us a game, man. But yeah. So, all right, guys, I guess I will go ahead and get out of here. 2 funny things I wanted to say to you. Well, 1 funny thing I wanted to say to you before I go. Somebody brought it to my attention in the last show that every week I always say, hey, man, guys, I don't have a lot. I'm going to be quick. And every time I say that, it's never quick. Look at this. Didn't say it tonight. And here we are, literally done under an hour. And I was really just filling in. Like, I could have been done a long time ago. So, no, I'm no longer going to say this is going to be a quick one. I'm going to just let the show be what it's going to be. The last thing I will say is in regards to basketball. Most of y'all know I'm a Sixers fan. Not confident, man. I'm just not. You know, the Celtics seem to give them a problem. I don't know why. We'll see. I mean, if you get to the next round, we'll see. Anything's possible. Look at the Lakers. Man, listen, Lakers up 3-1, bro. Listen, man, who would have thunk it, right? Earlier in the season when them dudes was almost out of play-in game contention, and look what they did. Went on that little run. I'm going to tell you like this, man. If the Lakers can consistently have a third guy that puts up double digits, they're dangerous. If the Lakers can do 2 things, they're dangerous. Have a third man that can give you double digits on a nightly basis, and Anthony Davis stays engaged and plays like he's a bad boy. If he plays like he's one of the best, if not the best player on the court at times, if he keeps that mentality, the Lakers are dangerous. That 1-2 combination with him and LeBron, even a 38-year-old LeBron, is dangerous. And like I said, if they have another guy, whether it's D'Lo or what's the dude's name, Hachimura, Reeves, somebody, if they can get double-digit scoring out of somebody else on a nightly basis, the Lakers have a small shot. You know, let's see who comes out of the Suns and Nuggets series. Probably going to be the Nuggets, but we'll see. You know, the Suns seem to turn it on when they want to, but I think the Lakers almost have an ability to play like a grinded out game. I think they could play with any of the teams remaining. I don't know if they can beat them, but I think it's possible because of their style of play. They just have to be a little more consistent. And yeah, it's tough for me to watch basketball. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if my son is tuned in. But he's always laughing at me and saying, Daddy, you get so mad. You know, my son is 9. It's because everybody all they want to do is shoot 3-pointers, man. It's like 100 3-point shots put up a game. And a lot of times these dudes are forcing it. Even my man Clay. Even Clay, right? The Splash brother. You know, I know him and Steph can shoot. And I know when Clay get hot, he can get hot. But because of that, sometimes these dudes just take bad shots. Oh, it bothers me, man. It bothers me. The other night, I forget which game I was watching, but literally the first 7 shots between both teams were all 3-pointers. And I'm like, and sometimes teams shoot themselves out of a game. Like, nobody just goes back to the basics when they need to. Listen, if you wide open and you can hit a 3, take a wide open shot. I'm not mad at that. But it's too much forcing 3s. And there's too many dudes who think they're 3-point shooters. It is not enough big boys playing in that paint. With the athleticism, man, that Davis got. You know, Davis, he don't play. He's not a bump type of guy. He don't play physical like that. But with his athleticism, he should be able to work a lot of them dudes in the paint and then pull them out the paint and go crazy on them. Like my man Embiid. Embiid can shoot outside of the paint. He can shoot 3s from time to time. But just imagine if Embiid played inside out. Who's stopping him in there? Who's stopping him in the paint? And it sucks that Embiid is hurt, you know, so I don't know, you know, when he's expected to play again. Yeah, Claude. Suns small. They a small team, man. They small. You know, but they can run. So the thing, I think, real quick, a Phoenix Sun team can run, and they might be able to run the Lakers out the gym. But, dog, I'm telling you, man, when we seen it earlier in these playoffs, when the Lakers are when Anthony Davis is able to put his imprint on the game defensively and offensively and play down in that paint, he's a problem in there. Now, it would be an interesting matchup seeing him go against Jokic. That would be an interesting, you know, dynamic there. But all I will say is the Lakers have a shot. They have a puncher's chance now if they do definitely advance into the next round against the Suns or the Nuggets. I wouldn't put my money on them getting to the finals, but they have a shot. They have a shot, you know, and Denver, man, is just – Denver's one of them teams too, man. It's kind of like – it kind of remind me of almost like my Sixers in this regard. There's not enough guys that score consistently. You know, you got Murray and Jokic going ham, but then Porter Jr. ain't giving you much consistently. Gordon ain't giving you much consistently. It's like there's nobody that they can rely on as that third complement. The Sixers are kind of like that too. My man Maxey, you know, Maxey is probably a solidified third man, but, you know, it's... You know, could we get a little more from Tobias? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always seems like there's never enough scoring by the Sixers, right? As a compliment, as a three-headed monster. But when they do it, when Maxey is getting his, they hard to beat. But I don't know. Like I said, Lakers have a puncher's chance. Yeah, Harden sometimes, you know, think he lost a little step. And yeah, Claude, I'm with you, man. Listen, if AD stay healthy, man, listen, I'm telling you, them Lakers, it might not look like it to some, but a healthy AD playing possessed, like he knows he's one of the top players in the league, they a problem. So I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the playoffs. Oh, my Sixers are playing tonight. They gotta win, man. If they can't, they gotta steal another game in Boston, man. They have to. But, you know, I was happy that they tied the series up, because if they would have went down 3-1, it was curtains. But all right, I'm going to get out here, man. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy some basketball. I can't sit up and really watch no ball tonight. You know, tomorrow is my second commute night going to D.C., so I got to hit the bed relatively early. But outside of that, man, I hope you guys enjoy yourselves tonight watching basketball. Keep your eyes out for, more Steelers news, and stay engaged, stay excited. We got the rookie minicamp coming up, and we'll talk a little bit about that come next week. Or if there's anything we need to talk about ahead of that, I'll do a pre-recorded video. And I'm thinking about doing a Madden series, man, with the new rookies, because, people update the rosters. Y'all let me know if y'all want to see that or not, and maybe I'll bring it your way. But outside of that, love you guys. Have a great night. Don't forget to do this for me. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications, and that's all I need from you, man. That's free. Don't cost you nothing. Catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. God bless. Good night. Peace.